Hello, good afternoon, everyone. So now, since we are done about the chapter 3, let's move on to chapter 4, which is the interrelated scientific principles, matter, energy, and environment. So, objective. At the end of the lesson, the students will be able to identify contribution of science and its impact to the environment, understand the significance of energy and matter, and create an essay about the importance of science's existence. So this report delves into the interconnectedness of matter, energy, and the environment, exploring the fundamental scientific principles that govern their interactions. We will examine the nature of science itself, its limitations, and how to distinguish it from pseudoscience. This foundation will then guide our exploration of structure of matter, the principles of energy, and the environmental implications of energy flow. So we all know that our planet is a complex web of interactions where matter and energy flow through ecosystems and human societies. So understanding this fundamental scientific principle is not just an academic exercise. It's essential for addressing the pressing environmental challenge nga ato ang na-face today. So from climate to pollution, our actions have profound consequences for the natural world. So we all know nga in every action nga ato ang gibuhat, there is kanang big impact bitaw sa ato ang society, sa ato ang community. So, this report delves into the interconnectedness of matter, energy, and the environment, exploring the scientific principles that govern interactions. We will also examine the nature of science itself, its limitation, and how to distinguish it from pseudoscience. This foundation will then guide our exploration of the structure of matter, the principles of energy, and the environment implications of energy flow. So ultimately, this report aims to empower us as a responsible citizen to make informed decisions and contribute to a sustainable future. So let's start. First, we have the nature of science. Science as a process. The document highlights that science is about how knowledge is acquired, not just what is studied. This means that scientific claims are constantly scrutinized and revised based on new evidence. So, science as a process. So, diri, makuan bitaw siya nga, science is not a static body of knowledge, but an active or ongoing process of inquiry. Like it emphasizes how of knowledge acquisition. Like it focusing rigorous methodologies. When we say rigorous, it's pertaining to strictness or kana bitawng thoroughness, kanang hingpit kaya grabe nagay kaayo, like and critical evaluation. So, scientific claims are subject to constant scrutiny. So, when we say scrutiny, it means to examine, to investigate, or to inspect, peer review, and revision in light of new evidence. So, this ensures that our understanding of the natural world becomes increasingly accurate and refined. So, for example, the understanding of plate tectonics has evolved over time. Initially, the idea of continental drift was met with skepticism. However, as new evidence accumulated, such as seafloor spreading, magnetic anomalies, the theory was refined and accepted. So, the theory of plate tectonics exemplifies the dynamic nature of science. So, ingon si Alfred Wegener's essential concept of continental drift was met with resistance due to a lack of plausible mechanism. However, subsequent discoveries such as kanang seafloor spreading, magnetic anomalies, and the mapping of tectonic plate boundaries provided overwhelming evidence that validated and refined the theory. So kani siya nga evolution, it demonstrates how scientific understanding progresses through the accumulation and interpretation of data. So, by the way, Alfred Wegener was a German scientist, primarily a meteorologist, who proposed the continental drift theory. He is included in the report as a prime example of how scientific understanding evolves. His initially disputed idea that continents moved over time was later validated and became a cornerstone of plate tectonics, demonstrating science as a process of revision and refinement. So now, unsa day ay ang effect ani niya sa kaning example sa ato ang environment, or what is the environmental relevance of this example? So plate tectonics influence geological hazard like kanang linog, earthquakes and volcanic eruptions, which significantly nga maka-impact sa atong ecosystem and also the human communities. So understanding this process is crucial for hazard mitigation and disaster preparedness. So kita unsa day ato ang application ani as a responsible citizen. So we should understand that scientific consensus evolves. When new evidence appears, kung mahitabo na magay ni siya, dapat we are ready to change our understanding about sa kalibutan. So we have to embrace a mindset of continuous learning and critical thinking, and also let's be open to revising our views and based on new evidence nga makita when time nga kanang mahitabo na bitaw. So kita as responsible citizen, we have to be ready, and also we have to kanang kuan bitaw pod sa ato ang mga actions nga dili ta kanang ang ato ang actions ba ato pong tinguhaon nga dili bitaw maka-cause pod nga kanang maka-cause nga maguba ang ato ang ecosystem. So next, we have the scientific method. Scientific method. So the scientific method is a systematic way of investigating phenomena. So this scientific methods, it provides a structured framework for investigating natural phenomena. Like it ensures objectivity, reproducibility, and the ability to test hypotheses. It involves observation. So when we say observation, it says noticing something in the natural world. So there is observation. We have to be careful and detailed observation of the world nga nakapalibot bitaw sa atoa kung unsa naman day nahitabo diri. And also it involves question like asking why or how something happens. So there is a question, we have to formulate specific or testable question based sa ato ang na-observe nga, for example sa katong example previously sa about sa tectonic plates. So kung nana tayo ma-observe na, makakuha na bitaw tag, makabuo na ta or maka-formulate na tag question nga why it happens or nganong nahitabo man ni siya. So next, we have the hypothesis. So hypothesis means formulating a testable explanation. So diripod, we have to propose a testable explanation for the observed phenomenon. Again, observation. Through observation, una gid siya ang observation before ta maka-create ani sa mga next nga mga steps. Next, we have the experiment testing, designing and conducting experiments to gather data. So diri kanang designing and conducting controlled experiment or gathering data to test the hypothesis, no? Kay it kuan gyud dili man ta ka kuan kung wala tay na experiment or wala tay na observe or wala tay nakita, so dili ta kasulti bitaw. Next, we have the analysis. Analysis means interpreting the data to see if it supports the hypothesis. So diri, analyzing the collected data nga kana bitay imong na-gather nga data to determine if it supports or refuses the hypothesis nga imuhang nabuhat. And also, we have the conclusion, drawing conclusions and revising the hypothesis if needed. So there is a conclusions based on the analysis and revising the hypothesis if necessary. Mag-usab ra ka diri sa conclusion if kanang needed jud siya usbon ang imuhang mga hypothesis or ang imuhang na gather bitaw nga explanation. So, example, a scientist observes that certain rice varieties in the Philippines are more resistant to flooding. They might ask what genetic factors contribute to this resistance. They could then formulate a hypothesis such as the presence of the SOB1A gene increases the flood tolerance. So, kaning SOB1A, based on my research kay kanang mauni siya ang kanibitang SOB1A kay mauni siya ang gene that interferes submergence tolerance to rice. This means that rice varieties possessing this gene are better able to withstand being completely submerged in water. So kani siya mauni siya ang kuan sa rice. So diri sa ato ang example, they would then conduct experiments, perhaps by comparing the survival rates of rice varieties with and without the gene under flooded conditions. So, Filipino agriculture scientists, like facing challenges like increased flooding tungod sa mga pagbaha, kay tungod sa uwan-uwan, utilize scientific method to develop resilient rice varieties. So, by observing kanang variations in flood tolerance, they formulate hypotheses about genetic factors mao ni diring sa kanang SOB1A gene through controlled experiments. Again, experiments in research kailangan jud siya kanang naay experiments kay di matakabuhat if wala bitaw tay kanang buhaton pud or wala tay actions ba or wala tay observations stations or on farms. Like they gathered the data on survival rates and gene expression. So the data is then analyzed. After ma-analyze na nila and ma-conclude na nila are drawn to inform breeding programs. So, unsay effect ani sa ato ang environment? So this method is vital for developing sustainable agricultural practices, conserving biodiversity, and adapting to climate change impacts. And also, we as a responsible citizen, when you see a problem or makakita tag problem, we should use a logical process to try to understand it. Kaya dili lang sad pwede nga maghinanaw lang ta sa mga nahitabo. And let's try to gather some information before making a conclusion. And also, kanang bitong tabangan pud nato ba? Like, let's help one another to create a better kanang future pod para sa usag-usa. Next, we have the basic assumptions in science. So, these are the underlying principles that scientists rely on. So, kani siya diri is kanang to ensure the reliability and consistency of scientific investigations. We have the causality, like events have a specific kanang causes. So every event has a cause. No kay budget nga tanan hitabo na jud siya cause. And understanding these causes allows us to predict and control phenomena nga mahimong kanang mahapsay or ma-okay bitaw. And also, we have the consistency. The same causes produce the same effects. So, consistency, like, the same causes will consistently produce the same effects under similar conditions. So, next, we have the universality. Natural laws apply everywhere. So, universality, kanang in the universe, natural laws apply everywhere in the universe regardless of location or time. And also we have the objectivity. Observations are independent of the observer. So objectivity, scientific observations and interpretations should be independent of the observer biases and belief. Let's say, for example, when studying the effects of climate change on coral reefs in the Philippines, scientists assume that increased water temperature mao ni siya ang cause will lead to coral bleaching or ang effect consistently regardless of the specific location or time. So sa diri, scientists studying coral bleaching in the Philippines assume that increased water temperature will consistently lead to coral stress and bleaching. So regardless of the specific reef location, this assumption allows them to develop predictive models and mitigation strategies. So what is the effect ani sa ato ang environment or the environmental relevance? So these assumptions provide a foundation for understanding and addressing complex environmental issues like sa climate change, pollution, and ecosystem degradation. So we as a citizen, responsible citizen, ato ang application ani is we should be aware that science relies on these assumptions and that they have proven to be very reliable. They have proven to be very reliable. So next we have the matter and energy. So matter is anything that has mass and occupies space. It's made up of atoms which combine to form molecules. So the building blocks of the universe composed of atoms and molecules. Understanding the properties of matter is crucial for addressing pollution, like resource management and materials. So example, water. Mao ni siya ang example, water or H2O is a molecule made up of 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. So next we have the energy. Energy is the ability to do work. It exists in various forms such as kinetic or motion, potential or stored, chemical and thermal. So there is the capacity to do work existing in various forms. Energy transformations drive all natural processes and human activities. So understanding energy principles is essential for developing sustainable energy system. So we have the example, photosynthesis in plants converts light energy into chemical energy stored in sugars. So next we have conservation of energy. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed from one form to another. So conservation of energy is a fundamental law of physics stating that energy cannot be created or destroyed. Dili siya dili siya ma-destroyed bitaw, but only transformed. Like this principle has profound implications for energy implications and resource management. Example, in a hydroelectric power plant in the Philippines, so the potential energy of water stored in a dam is converted into kinetic energy as it flows through turbines and then into electrical energy. Next, we have energy transformation and loss. When energy is transformed, some of it is converted into less useful forms, often heat. So diri sa energy transformation and loss are never 100%, dili siya 100% efficient, with some energy always being lost, nga mainit bitaw, lost as heat. So this principle highlights the importance of minimizing energy waste and maximizing efficiency. Like In a car engine, only, for example, in a car engine, only a portion of the chemical energy in gasoline is converted into kinetic energy to move the car. The rest is lost as heat. So, chemical energy in gasoline is converted into kinetic energy with heat as a byproduct. So, byproduct na siya ang kaning heat niya. So, next, we have the so, unsa day ka-importante ang kani bitawng mga kani siya sa ato ang or unsay impact sa ato ang environment ani. So, these concepts are fundamental to understanding energy flows in ecosystems. So, the impact of pollution and the development of renewable energy technologies. So, citizen application. So, we have to be aware of how energy use around you or around us. So, we have to look for ways to save energy and to reduce waste. Mabito na ilang gingon nga dapat conserve energy kay, for example, sa ato ang mga electric power. So, nga, if possible, we have to use solar panel kay para mas tipid bitaw, at the same time mas makatabang siya bitaw sa ato ang ecosystem or unsa pa dira. So next we have the iterative nature. So when we say iterative kay mao ni siya ang changing or pag-usab-usab bitaw. So iterative nature, or shall we say changing nature. So the document emphasizes that the scientific method is not a linear process. Results from one study can lead to new questions and further investigation. So sa diri, the scientific method is not a linear process but an iterative one. So results from one study often lead to new questions and further investigation. So this iterative nature allows scientists to refine their understanding of complex phenomena and develop more accurate models bitaw. Let's say, for example, there is ato ang Philippines. If the marine biologists find a correlation between pollution and bleaching, they might then ask what specific pollutants are most harmful to corals. This would lead to further research and refine their understanding of the issues. So, if marine biologists find a correlation between pollution and coral bleaching, they might then investigate the specific pollutants responsible. So, this could involve analyzing water samples, conducting laboratory experiments, and developing models to predict the impacts of different pollutants. So, usa may effect sa ato ang environmental ani or sa ato ang environment ani. So, this process kay importante ni siya for addressing complex environmental challenges that require ongoing research and adaptation. And also, we as a responsible citizen dapat mo support pud ta sa ongoing scientific inquiry that understand that science is always learning and improving. So, to sum up, tawagan nga term. Kani siyang science, nature sa science kay siya mahug na to siya nga dynamic. It is a dynamic process of discovery. Dili lang siya. It's not just a collection of facts but a method of inquiry, and also it relies on observation, experimentation, and the rigorous testing of hypotheses. So the scientific method is the core of this process sa nature of science, ensuring that conclusions are based on evidence. Dili nabito siya nakita jud ba nga kanang tinuo jud or na siya nakita nga evidence, dili lang kay based on opinions, and also basic assumptions like causality sa kani causality, consistency, universality, and objectivity kanang provide a framework for kanang reliable. When we say reliable, kanang tinuod bitaw scientific investigation. And also, ang effect magod ani sa ato ang environment is to understand the nature of science na crucial bitaw for evaluating environmental claims. It helps us to distinguish between evidence-based solution and unfounded assertions. So, katong for example, scientific studies on climate change provide evidence of rising global temperature and their impacts on ecosystems. So, kato siya nga evidence can inform policy kana decisions bitaw and individual actions. So, kita pod nga mga responsible citizen, we have become a critical thinker, question claims, and seek evidence-based information. Mangita jud tag evidence, no? If tinuod ba jud ni ang mga sulti-sulti, especially kanang regarding environmental issues, no? Kay grabe ba jud kayo ni basa when we talk about the environmental issues, kay some of kanang uban sa to sa mga tao kay nadjay kanang mga ratol kayo ba. For example, ingon na lang ganid ka na, hala nay linog, kunya wala kahibaw nga, or hala nay bagyo, or nay umaabot nga kanang tsunami, kunya mutuod dayon ba? So dapat mahimo pud tang kanang aware pud ta, and also ready pud ta ba dili lang kay mangita pud ta og proof, for example sa kanang mga balita. So diha. And also support scientific research and education. Ada kani siya diri sa science in nature kay advocate for policies that are based on sound scientific evidence. So now, since we are done in science and nature, let's move on to the limitations of science. So limitations of science. Kay science, while powerful, has inherent limitations. It cannot address value judgments, prove universal negatives, or overcome limitations. Wait, kainit. So science and limitations of science, we have value judgment. So there is a value judgment. Science can provide information about the world, but it cannot tell us what is right or wrong. So kani siya diri, science can provide objective information about the world, pero dili siya kasulti, dili siya ka-dictate og moral or ethical values bitaw, like decisions about environment. Policies often involve balancing scientific evidence with ethical, economic, and social considerations. So, dili siya kasulti ba kung unsay sakto or unsay kanang dili bitaw. For example, scientists can study the environmental impact of mining in the Philippines, but they cannot decide whether mining should be allowed. That decision involves ethical, economic, and social considerations. So, ang scientists makaprovide sila og data on the environmental impacts of mining, such as deforestation, water pollution, and habitat destruction. However, the decision to allow or prohibit mining involves weighing these impacts against economic benefits and social needs. So, ang environmental relevance or ang effects ato ang relevance, recognizing this limitation is crucial for ensuring that environment decisions are informed by both science and ethical values. So dapat we have to understand that science can inform our values, but it cannot replace them. Gani. So next, we have the universal negatives. So science cannot prove that something does not exist. So science cannot definitely prove that something does not exist. So it can only investigate whether there is evidence to support its existence. Example, scientists cannot prove that the Bakunawa or a mythical sea serpent in Filipino folklore does not exist. Like, they can only investigate whether there is evidence to support its existence. So, scientists, dili sila makaprove that the mythical sea serpent nga ni kana bitong wala siya ni exist, but they can only investigate whether there is any empirical investigate to support its kanang existence, such as fossils records or eyewitness accounts. Like kanang naa jud mismo kanang nakakita jud ba. So this limitation highlights the importance of focusing on evidence-based. So, mao na, dapat evidence-based gyud ta, evidence-based claims, and avoiding reliance on substantiated beliefs. Like, dili lang sa kanang mga haka-haka lang ba? So, dapat be very skeptical of claims that something does not exist gyud. Kanang dapat gyud mabinantayon jud ta. So next, we have limitations of instruments. So scientific investigations are limited by the tools and technologies available. So diri siya, scientific investigations are limited by the tools and technologies available. So advances in instrumentation can lead to new discoveries and a deeper understanding of the natural world. For example, studying deep sea ecosystem in the Philippines requires specialized equipment that may not be readily available or affordable. So diri, studying deep sea ecosystem in the Philippines, kay koani siya kanang remotely operated vehicles and other advanced equipment that may not be readily available or affordable. So, this limitation can hinder our ability to study and address environmental problems in remote or inaccessible kanang areas. So, next, we have the limitations of existing knowledge. Scientific understanding builds upon previous knowledge. New discoveries can challenge existing theories. So, sa diri, scientific understanding builds upon previous knowledge and new discoveries. Kay can challenge existing kanang theories bitaw. Like, it highlights the dynamic and evolving nature of science. Let's say, for example, kanang traditional ecological knowledge or tech of indigenous communities in the Philippines can offer valuable insights into resource management. However, tech may not always align with Western scientific understanding, and integrating this knowledge system require careful consideration. So, this tech of indigenous communities in the Philippines can offer valuable insights into resource management. However, dili ni siya may not always align with the Western scientific understanding, and integrating this knowledge system requires careful consideration and respect. So, recognizing this limitation, kay it allows us for the kanang kuan bitaw for the integration of diverse knowledge systems and a more holistic approach to environmental problem solving. So next, we have the misuse of scientific knowledge. Excuse me. So misuse of scientific knowledge. So the document highlights that scientific knowledge can be misused to support biased opinions. So diri kanang scientific knowledge, while inherently valuable, can be distorted or selectively used to support pre-existing biases or agendas bitaw. So this misuse can occur in various ways, including kanang selective presentation of data, like it emphasizing kanang data that support a particular kanang viewpoint while ignoring or downplaying contradictory evidence, and also kanang misinterpretation of results, like drawing conclusions that are not supported by the data, or exaggerating the kanang significance of findings, and also funding kanang bias. So scientific research funded by entities with vested interest may be influenced to produce results that favor those interests. So, for example, the document provides examples related to agriculture, but this can be extended to other areas. Like, for instance, scientific data about the health risk of pollution might be used to argue against industrial development while ignoring the economic benefits. So conversely, it might be used to downplay the environmental impacts of certain industries. So the industries might cite scientific studies that minimize the health risk of certain pollutants to justify their operations. So conversely, environmental advocacy groups might highlight studies that nag-emphasize bitaw the danger of those pollutants to argue for stricter regulations. It might important to look at the whole body of scientific work and not just parts of it. So the misuse of scientific knowledge can lead to flawed environmental policies, public misinformation, and delays in addressing critical environmental problems. So kita dapat pod we have to develop our critical thinking skills to evaluate scientific claims. Sa unsa man, let's seek information from diverse and reputable reputable sources, like be aware of potential biases in scientific research. Be aware that people with agendas can use science to back up those agendas. So, in summary sa science, limitation of science kay science is a powerful, has inherent limitations. It cannot address value judgments, prove universal negatives, or overcome limitations of instruments and existing knowledge. So these limitations reminds us that science is one tool among many for understanding the world, like ethical considerations, cultural values, and other forms of knowledge are also important. So acknowledging the limitations of science help us avoid oversimplification of complex environmental problems. Like, for instance, scientific data can inform decisions about resource management, but it cannot resolve conflicts between economic development and environmental protection. So these conflicts require ethical and social considerations. It allows us for the inclusion of the traditional ecological knowledge from indigenous people. So recognize that environmental decisions involves more than just scientific data. Like, we have to consider ethical, social, and economic factors. And also, let's in application, let's respect diverse perspectives and knowledge systems, like including traditional ecological knowledge, and also support interdisciplinary approaches to environmental problem solving. So that's all for the limitations of science. And now let's move on to the pseudoscience.